Welcome. It is great to see that so many of you have come to join us for this symposium in these 2 days. And we thought as hosts that it would be good to introduce ourselves briefly to you, so that you know who we are, and there will be references to us through the day, so then you know who we are. And I'll start, be polite and start, and then I'll give it to Anisha and to talk about Katutandike. But as ICS, we started 35 years ago as a development organization. We're based in the Netherlands, but actually most of our staff is based in Africa. And about 10 years ago, we started focusing on social enterprise. And at this day, the majority of our work is done in a few social enterprises that we have in Africa. At this moment, we have 3. One, which is called Agrix, focuses on providing smallholder farmers with high quality inputs on credit. We have one, Alizetics, that is focused on buying the produce of smallholder farmers and selling it to the large overproducing companies. And we have Geodetics, which is actually a startup, which is focusing on translating satellite data into valuable information for farmers and intermediary organizations. And in the coming year, we'll actually also spin off our water activities into a proper enterprise here in Africa. And what we also do, we always combine our economic interventions with our NGO activities. And mainly our skillful parenting program is a very important addition, with which we make sure that an increase in household income actually leads to increased well-being at family level. So I think that is in a nutshell what we do as ICS and our affiliate organizations. Over the next couple of days, you'll hear more about these organizations and we'll go more in depth. And I really look forward in these days to hear from all of you about your experiences. And I look forward to very great days. So Anisha, you want to say something around Katutandike?
Thank you, Ronald. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So I'd like to welcome you all on behalf of Katutandike Trust UK, Katutandike Uganda, and Kulika Uganda, all 3 founded by Patricia Brennickmeyer. And as Andrew introduced me, I'm the chairperson of Katutandike Trust UK, and we have been funding the work of Katutandike Uganda since 2006. We're a small philanthropy in the UK, and our primary focus is on early childhood development, and that's the work that Katutandike Uganda has been doing. At the same time, given that with our work, and our focus is actually focusing on urban poverty, because we feel that a lot of the donors are focusing on the urban poverty issues. So we work to help the women and the children in urban markets in and around Kampala. And what we found out is, like, in our work, that the funding is going to end very soon. As you know, the aid pot is shrinking. And our funding from the UK to Uganda is also in a process of phasing out. So it's really important for us to ensure that a legacy is left, and at the same time that there is sustainability and the work on the ground continues regardless. So a few years ago, we transitioned the charity from a traditional charity model, which is largely dependent on donor funding, into a social enterprise model. This was a challenging experience, especially in the light that when you are used to having handouts, it's very difficult to break away from that. But still we persisted. We have amazing champions on the ground, so that the community actually wants to really own it. So it's about them. So it's been great right now, and we transitioned it from so we have the charity, which focuses on ECD, working with vulnerable children and mothers. And we also set up Katu Honey, a social enterprise which is affiliated to the charity, which processes and packages pure bees honey. And the proceeds of that, in time, will sustain the work on the ground, even when our funding has phased out. So that is our work in brief. And at the same time, the work that we've been doing has really shown that people really value dignity over dependency. So that is also really important. And for us, charity is not just about money. So we partnered with ICS because we're on the same page in terms of we believe that scaling social business establishing sustainable sources of income and businesses on the ground, enabling social impact is really critical. So we hope today and tomorrow you will hear more from others in the field, and at the same time we would welcome your input as well and see how best we can work together and come up with solutions to some of the challenges. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, it's a great pleasure to introduce His Excellency, the Ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, Mr. Alfons Hennekes. We have been supported by the Dutch government in many ways, actually, over the last couple of years, and we will hopefully receive some support in the coming years as well. So it is a great pleasure to introduce Mr. Hennekes to officially open the symposium.
Thank you. That's the easiest. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I just have to make one correction on the introduction by Andrew. The ambassador was already ready to come here at 8:30, but he was informed to come a little bit later. I don't know why. Anyway, so I have to, if we have serious symposium, then we have to give our correct information to the audience. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege for me to address you today at this symposium on scaling social business in East Africa. Social entrepreneurship is an important theme to discuss, especially the linkage with impact investors. However, in my opening remarks, I will not go into the topic as such, because I assume other speakers will elaborate on the concept in their speeches and their presentations. I will focus primarily on the advantages and the strengths of public-private partnerships in general, and I will address the partnership policy of the Netherlands government in particular, of which obviously the private sector is part, including the social enterprises. Let me kick off by saying that the Netherlands has a special relationship with Uganda. Uganda is one of the only 8 countries with whom we have a so-called transitional relationship, from aid to trade and investments. Over time, the bilateral economic relationship between our 2 countries should prevail and aid will be phased out. The focus of our relationship with Uganda is nowadays on reducing poverty, but also on boosting economic growth, increasing market access, and improving business climate. A main instrument of the modernization of the Netherlands Development Cooperation and of promoting trade and investments are the so-called public-private partnerships. As you all know, the PPPs are alliances of the government and the business community, often in collaboration with civil society organizations and knowledge institutions. The aim of our PPPs is to encourage economic development through market-oriented investments, thereby contributing to poverty reduction in developing countries and addressing social issues such as gender inequality. In the Netherlands, development cooperation is not an exclusive domain for the government alone. To optimize the effects and to enhance the effectiveness of aid, we seek also the knowledge and the capabilities of the private sector. Netherlands companies, NGOs and knowledge institutions have a wealth of knowledge and expertise that can be pulled together around our development goals. The competences and expertise of the partners are combined, and the various goals, funds, risks and responsibilities are pulled together. Under such a PPP arrangement, which we call the Dutch Diamond approach, the competences, the knowledge and the expertise of partners are combined. The private sector's efficient, market-oriented approach is coupled with civil society organizations' knowledge of the local circumstances. Research institutions contribute expertise, whereas the government brings in the parties together and co-finances the partnership. Within such a construction, all parties benefit from working together and are able to reduce risks while achieving better results. Moreover, the PPPs may very well increase sustainability and development impact, and they could lead to higher returns. Netherlands companies can, however, be unfamiliar with local circumstances and have difficulties in finding a suitable business partner. That's where the partnerships with local entities come in. These partnerships allow knowledge to transfer and they build sustainable business models. Collaboration in a public-private partnership can be beneficial for the local business climate as well. It can have added value in solving sector-wide bottlenecks and production chain constraints. Now, what makes a partnership with the Netherlands Ministry of Foreign Affairs interesting or beneficial? We consider ourselves first and foremost a reliable broker and a credible partner. We work demand-driven and always use a holistic approach towards a project or a program. This means that we can link partners to our broad network, both in the public and in the private sector, and always with the aim to strengthen the partnership and keeping an eye open for possibilities to improve the project. Moreover, we can link the partner to other financial instruments available within the ministry, like the Facility for Sustainable Entrepreneurship and Food Security, the FDOV. Last but not least, we have contacts on the highest level to open doors and to address specific issues. The PPP funds and the facilities that the Netherlands government has available are broadly applicable and can be tailored to specific circumstances. That makes us and our partners flexible. Not only are we able to target various themes, from food security, water and private sector development, to sports, energy, and sexual and reproductive health and rights.